In the post-Vedic text, Mahabharata Udyoga Parva 108. East. Described as the homeland of the origin of the Vedic culture. Where the creator of the universe first sang, Veda. Where do you mean, East? Mahabharata Udyoga Parva text 108. Garuda said, "Oh, Galava, I have been commanded by God, which is the cause of all knowledge. I am asking you, in which direction will I first take you to see what lies there? East, south, west or north, in which direction, best of regenerating people, should I go, oh Galava? The clump leads to where the sun illuminates the universe for the first time, where on that night the Satyas engaged in their austerities, where that intelligence, which pervaded the entire first universe. Where are the two, Dharma, eyes, as well as himself, placed, where the clarified birth first poured out in sacrifice then flows around him, that a quarter. Best of all regeneration people, is the gate of day and time. There the daughters of Daksha, in earlier times, gave birth to their children. There the sons of Kashyapa were first multiplied. That quarter is the source of all the prosperity of the gods. For it was there that Sakra was first anointed as king. There, regenerated Rishi, that Indra and the gods are undergoing their ascetic. For this, Brahmana, that this part is called the first, Purva. And because in the early days it was propagated by the Sura, for this it is called Purva. The gods, wanting prosperity, perform all their religious ceremonies here. This is where the creator of the universe first sang, Veda. Right here. Gayatri was first preached by Surya to the repeaters of the holy chants. Here. The best of the Brahmins, that Yajurveda, was sent by Surya to Yajnavalkya. It is here that the essence of Soma, sanctified by grace, is first drunk with sacrifice by Suras. It is here that the fire of Homa, satisfied by the mantra, is first drunk from its cognate origin. It was here that Varuna was first fixed to the lower regions and achieved all its prosperity. Here it is, bull among those born twice, that the birth, growth and death of ancient Vasistha happened. Here, first of all, grew hundreds of different branches. This is where the smoke-eating, munis, is the smoke from the victim's fire. In that area, a herd of wild boar and other animals was killed by Sakra, and offered as a sacrifice to the gods. It is here that the sun which is goaded by 1,000, arises, runs out, burns up, all that is evil and ungrateful among humans and the Suras. This is the gate of the three worlds. This is the way of heaven and happiness. This quarter is called Purva, or East. We'll go there, if it pleases you. I will always do what is pleasing to him who is my friend. Tell me, Galava, if any other quarter pleases you, because we will go there. Listen now what I have to say. Pay attention to. From the text of the sentence above, Mahabharata Udyoga Parva 108 can be interpreted and even concluded that East is the beginning of teachings, before being recorded as a book called Veda. In India before the 9th century AD, was born a new teaching, to distinguish not two teachings that were born in the 5th century BC nor Islam based on Veda. And if the initial book, Veda, was in India, then there could be no direction of the location designated as East. This is where the creator of the universe first sang Veda. In the East. Literacy of the word East. In the text quote, the sentence above is meant Southeast Asia. Nusantara Indonesia. This is where the teachings of Dharmic originated and studied long before the existence of teachings that were born in India. The original teaching of the ancestors of the Indonesian archipelago, Dharmic original. Perfectly tucked away in Bali. Depicted on the website Wana Chaka Phala, which is now published as Borobudur. Both are not based on the teachings that were born in India but on the basis of the teachings that were born there. Watch carefully. This article contains academic studies. That the pre-Islamic kingdom was also a site in the archipelago not based on Hindu-Buddhist. But the teachings depicted on the site are also the teachings embraced by the kings and the ancestors of the archipelago, which underlie the birth of Hindu-Buddhist teachings in India. Hinduism, this is the amalgamation or synthesis of various traditions and cultures in India, the origin of Brahmanism, the teachings of the old Vedas or based on Vedic, which the Saka people brought. Kaka, Aryan. Scientists note the synthesis arose around 500 to 200 BC in India, with diverse origins and no founding figures growing side by side with Buddhism until the 8th century, from Uttaran India. This Hindu synthesis spread to the south. The end of the 18th century onwards, the British called the inhabitants Hindustan, that is, a nation to the southwest of India, and Hindu became the equivalent term for Indians who are not Muslim, not Sikh, not Jaina, not Christian, not Buddhist, includes a wide variety of adherents and practitioners of different traditional beliefs. The term Hindu is an antonym to other beliefs. Then the word Hindu, with the ending ism, added around the 1830s to refer to culture and religion. The term was accepted by the Indians themselves in terms of building national identity to oppose colonialism. Hinduism, as a gathering place for various coherent and independent traditions, was supported by the Sanskritization of the 19th century under the dominance of Western colonialism and Indology. From now on, the term Hinduism is widely used. Kaka are the ancestors of the archipelago, written on the bas-reliefs of Wana Kaka Phala Borobudur with the literary text of the word Mahachakya, nation Kakya. Sakya. Shaitya. Saka. Aryan. The Great One. The Kaka, or Saka, existed far earlier than 78 AD from the time of conquering king, Salivahana, of India. This 78 AD figure is misinterpreted to calculate the beginning of the Saka year on the inscription. Various new cultural practices such as sacrificial rituals all formed the basis of the early Hindu Vedic culture, the basis of which was the teachings of our ancestors. Dharmic is the Dharma. Dhamma. Dhammo is recorded in word literacy. Kusaladharmabhajana. In the basic figure of the Borobudur relief. Sangharama Mahithupa of Wana Kaka Phala is now published as Borobudur. There are 160 relief panels in its base which are not exposed. There are 12 words, svarga, listed in the bas-relief figure instead of the word nirvana, and other word text literacy. Mahachakya. Mahachakya word literacy 43 panel frame. The word Mahe means great or great nation. And the word Sakya are the Kaka Nusantara. Maheshakya is one of the words absorbed into Sanskrit which is also used in books such as the Upanishads, Veda. Meaning, the teaching of Hindu refers to religion in India only around 1830. This proves formally, Hinduism in India existed after the era of the kings of the archipelago. Dharmapala, 670 to 580 BC, was born into an aristocratic family in the archipelago. He was a student of Dharmadasa, a teacher from Svarnadvipa Dharmakirti who later became head of Nalanda University in Bihar, India, a branch of the university whose center is in the Indonesian archipelago. Among the literacy of sentences based on references to the writings of Chinese pilgrims Faxian 337-422, Adan Hayu and Seong 602-664 AD. Southwest of the city 8 or 9 li is a rock dwelling in the poisonous Naga. Having subdued this dragon, the Tathagata left his shadow here, but although this is the tradition of the place, no visible remains. Equinox. Next to it is a stupa built by the king, about 200 feet high. Near this is the sign on which the Tathagata walks to and fro as well as the stupa. Disciples suffering from illnesses, by praying here are mostly healed. Walking to and fro what Fahian saw and noted was Pradaksina Prasawiyat Tawaf. Sakya's law becomes extinct. This will be the last realm in which it will survive. Therefore from the highest to the lowest all who entered the borders of this country were deeply affected, even to tears, before they returned. To the northeast of the residence of Naga is a large forest. After passing about 700 li, we crossed the river, Punai. Towards the north we arrived at the town of Kia Shi Pulo Kasapura. The city is about 10 li in its territory. Inhabitants are rich, happy. On the side of the city is the old Sangharama, whose foundation walls alone exist. It is here that the Dharmapala Bodhisattva refutes the arguments of the heretics. A former king of this country, due in part to heretical teachings, wants to overthrow the law of Dhamma. While he showed the greatest respect for these people, one day he summoned from among the heretics a master sastras, highly educated and of superior talents, who clearly understood the doctrines of his new view. The Dharmapala Bodhisattva has composed a work in 1000 slokas, which are 32,000 words. In this work he is against those who slander the law of Dhamma, which can be learned from education here as orthodox teachings. Dharmic original. This book was later brought to Tibet. Hence the king awakened the Buddhist priests, and ordered them to discuss the question at issue, adding that if the heretics won, this would destroy the law of Dhamma. The Dharmapala Bodhisattva, despite his youth, has acquired widespread renown for penetration and wisdom, and the reputation of his noble character is far spread. He was now in the assembly and standing, with encouraging words speaking to them as follows. Even though I am stupid, I ask permission to say a few words. Surely I am ready to immediately answer the king's call in argument discourse. I will get the victory. This will prove spiritual protection. I have been trained since my youth in education. Dharmapala Bodhisattva said with a smile, I am a conqueror. I will show how he used false arguments in advocating his heretical doctrines, in urging his false teachings. The writing above is based on sentences written by Chinese pilgrims. In short, Dharmapala, 670 to 580 BC, in his day, he was a scholar who was smart to fight and overthrow some new views of Dhamma. This is the teaching of the archipelago's ancestors, which European historians call Dharmic, namely, Dharma, at its place of origin in Svarnadvipa recorded in the name of the tribe, Dummo. Piliang, choice of Hyang, God. Patopang, Pertapa N. Kanyago, Yoga, Samadhi, Tapo, Batagak. Its location is recorded in Chinese records by Faxian 337-422, Ad and Haiyuan Siong 602-664 AD and in the text of the sentence. The Tathagata left his shadow here, but even though this was the tradition of the place, no residual shadow could be seen. This nearby 200-foot-high stupa is a sign where the Tathagata walks to and fro, is the site of Muaratakas, where Brahmins perform the ritual, Pradaksina Prasawiya Tawaf, sacred ritual movements of circling objects in the area site. The location that Hyan Sang meant is equinox. Only in the Muaratakas site, Kampar district, Riau Sumatra, Indonesia. Neither in Ceylon, Sri Lanka, nor in Palembang. Palembang is not the center of Buddha teachings, it is the Vanua Vatsal kingdom area that carries out the Pichua Maklumat of the consensus of Dachuik, at its center in the Sibu Jao, Sibu Jao or Seribu Dachuik area, which was later called the sentence Srivijaya. From here, Kri Janayasa Dapuntha Hyang, 6th century 4th year 4th day 11th day performed, Siddhayatra. Marlapas. The holy journey brings, Dharma, namely the original Dharmic, the teachings of the ancestors of the previous Indonesian archipelago. Together with the alumni of Dharmapala, university graduates. This location can be seen in Fa Huan, Faxian 337-422 m to Itsing 635-713 m. Dapuntha Hyang went north as well as west with 2,213 people. This is also what Markandeya Rishi did to Bali. Here the teachings of the ancestors of the archipelago are perfectly preserved. Dharmic original. So, the kingdom of pre-Islam, as well as sites in the Indonesian archipelago is not based on Hinduism, Buddhism, but the teachings depicted on the site as well as the teachings of the kings and ancestors of the archipelago which until now are perfectly preserved in Bali are the basis for the birth of Hinduism. Buddha. Jaina. In India. It's an academic fact. By Santo Saba.